Good morning. Welcome to the Community Church of Chapel Hill, Unitarian Universalist, virtual Sunday service. I'm Kathy Putnam, and I'm a member of the Worship Associates Ministry here at the church. And I want to welcome each of you to our Sunday online service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to worship with us today, you are welcome here.
O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels.
O come, let us adore him.
O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord. Lo, humble shepherds, hasting to his cradle, leaving their flocks in the fields, draw near. We do with gladness thither bend our footsteps.
O come, let us adore him.
O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. O sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, all glory in the highest.
O come, let us adore him.
O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord.
O creative Spirit, we give thanks for the wonders that are, the human quest for meaning, for the poetry and myths of human imagination, for the bright stars in the night, for the joyful sound of voices uplifted in song, for the good company of women and men in houses of fellowship such as ours. We would be mindful of the pain within the world, the loneliness, the hunger, the poverty which remains. We join in the faith that in the midst of all that besets us, we are called to be faithful to life and faithful to each other. The spirit of Christmas is a spirit of hope and faith in the amazing possibilities which are open to us. Let us nurture this hope, this faith, and proclaim it to the world. Amen. Come, let us worship together.
Magnificat, Magnificat, Domino. Omnes generationes, omnes generationes, omnes generationes, omnes generationes,
Hearken to me, both old and young, how this rose began to spring. A fairer rose to mine thy king. In all this world, nay, know I none.
Of a rose, a lovely rose, of a rose is on my soul. By branches of that rose there be, the which be both fair and cheap. The rose is called Mary, heaven's queen.
into Bethlehem that branch sprang bright.
The good branches sprang to heaven, the
Devil's power for to fail, that no soul therein should
the branch so blessed fully sway. The fifth branch, it was so sweet, it sprang to heaven from and good. Therein to dwell ye and know, so blessedly placed, these blessed spring. Of a rose, a lovely rose, of a rose is my soul. Pray we to her with great honor, she that bare the blessed flight,
be our help and our succor.
and shield us from the fiend's bond.
As I light the chalice this morning, I invite you to say these words. Deep calls unto deep. Joy calls unto joy. Light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. On the first 3 Sundays of Advent, we lit 3 candles for hope, peace, and love. Today, on the 4th Sunday of Advent, we light 1 more candle for joy. In the words of Reverend Erica Hewitt, joy is one of those qualities that, if not yet present within us, will come to us in its own time. The light of joy, then, doesn't require that you experience joy now, today, in your immediate surroundings. Instead, it's a reminder to wait for it with faithfulness that overshadows pain and cynicism. May the light of this candle bring us patience, grant us faith, draw us closer to joy.
We are Quia fecit mihi magna, repotens est. Quia fecit mihi magna, repotens est. Quia fecit mihi magna, repotens est. Quia
Et sanctum nomen eius, et sanctum, sanctum nomen eius, et sanctum, et misericordia, et misericordia, et misericordia eius a progenie in progenies, et misericordia, et misericordia, et misericordia eius a progenie in progenies, et misericordia et misericordia, et misericordia, et misericordia Dios, progenie, in progenies, et misericordia,
One of the great things about Christmas is that it is a sturdy holiday. Christmas doesn't wimp out when times are hard. It comes anyway.
Even if there are hardly any presents, even when there isn't much food to make a feast with, even if you're sad, even if the world around you is at war, even if you are living in fear and danger and oppression, Christmas still comes.
And when it comes, Christmas is subversive. Christmas, with its story of an unwed mother and a doubtful father, with its legend of a helpless baby born in a stable, who was worshipped by some of the wisest, richest men in the world, with its tale of the child pursued by the deadly wrath of kings, who escaped as a refugee to a foreign land, far from home.
Christmas, with its ancient enduring summons of peace on earth, goodwill to all people everywhere. You can't stop a day like that with a little hardship, or greed, or injustice. It will show up anyway, shining the light of a midnight star into the darkest places of our collective lives.
Do not underestimate the power of the manger and the hope it holds. The Christmas song of the angels is not as innocent as it sounds.
It has turned the world upside down before now.
It still can.
Cultus est, ad Patris nostros, Abraham et Elieus,
Each week, we hold a time in our service for sharing the joys and the sorrows that we bring with us into this church community. This past week, several members of the church reached out to me asking me to place stones. First stone we place for Danny Gotham. Danny Gotham said goodbye to his loyal companion and dog child, Tiki, on Tuesday of this week. Danny pulled out his calculator and realized that Tiki was exactly 65 days short of being 15 years old, a very long life for a dog. Danny adopted Tiki in 2007 and brought him home 3 days before his first birthday. In Danny's estimation, there has never been a dog on the face of the earth that was more loved or more spoiled rotten than Tiki. Danny wishes to send his heartfelt thanks for all of your condolences. There will be brighter days ahead for all of us. We hold Danny and Tiki in our hearts this morning. Ellen and Susan Spalt asked me to place a stone for the nephew of one of their oldest friends. He was inadvertently killed by gunfire in Durham the day before Thanksgiving. Alan and Susan asked that we please hold the extended family of Tressa Laws, who the Spalts have known for more than 50 years, in our hearts. Maureen O'Rourke and Shannon Richards asked me to place a stone for their friend Sharon, who has been through a lot of sadness and loss. So we hold Sharon, friend of Maureen and Shannon, in our hearts this morning. Larry and Cheryl Deagle sent me this note. We would like to share with y'all that we celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary yesterday, December 19th. Words cannot express the joy and the horror that statement brings. As we reflect on the decades of our lives spent together, one thing is clear: we were never in this alone. Divine intervention has most certainly played a role, along with family and dear friends. We are eternally grateful for each other and for y'all. Congratulations to Cheryl and Larry Deagle on their 50th wedding anniversary. Final stone is placed this morning for all those joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts, which were not spoken. These words of prayer this morning come from Rebecca Parker. Rebecca Parker served as president of Stark King School of the Ministry, and when she composed this prayer, she was a minister theologian in residence at All Souls Unitarian Church in Washington, D.C. It's entitled A Christmas Prayer with 7 Words. We remember the Magi, observers of stars, evidence-based seekers who found their way to kneel before a baby. May we too kneel before life's intricate mysteries, following the path of science-based searchers for truth. We remember Mary, birth mother of a revolutionary prophet, the fetus in her womb a surprise, her choice a decision to magnify her hope, the birth difficult, attended by a beautiful diversity of animals and a ragtag gathering of vulnerable people. May we too kneel at the cradle of Earth's dreams for peace, and in so doing, dedicate ourselves to revolutionary love. We remember Joseph, unexpectant father, who embraced the baby as his own, believing that every child has a God-given entitlement to love and care. May we too stand by the women and children of this world when privilege and power threaten their freedom and put their well-being at risk. We remember the angels singing into a cold night to the overtaxed poor, promising peace and goodwill to all. May we echo their song in acts of solidarity and justice for all souls, refugee souls, green souls, disabled souls, black souls, young souls, transgender souls. May we join the bold, holy movement to bring heaven to earth. May the morning star brighten our hope for a new day, and may laughter strengthen all of our prayers. Amen.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare in room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, now gladness reigns. Let hearts their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and takes the nations through the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
The words by which we extinguish the chalice are these: we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join in singing Shalom.